Okay, all right, so this is a couple of months later and I'd like to show you the final product. So here we go. This is the accumulation of lots of work, but finally we got I have the project done. So as you can see, I have managed to retrofit a C18 McCormick loader to adapt or to fit onto a XR3135 LS tractor. What you'll see here is your loader mounts are attached to the frame. One of the things that had to be done was to insert spacers, so thicknesses of metal, to go between the tractor mount and the tractor frame. So what I ended up doing is I tried to use as much of the original parts from the McCormick loader as possible. So one of those parts was very important, was a cross member, which basically ties the two loader mounts together under the tractor. And then another critical dimension, of course, is the distance between each of the two loader mounts. So once I knew the spacing between the two loader mounts, I then measured the spacing that I had to make up between the mount and the frame. That was step number one. There's spacers located up here, and there's also spacers located back here. And just to make things really fun for me, the spacings are different. So there's a certain dimension of spacers that I needed for the front, and then there's a different dimension needed for the spacing in the rear. The other factor is the bolt pattern. So the bolt pattern on the original tractor mount does not link up at all with the bolt pattern on the tractor itself. So I had to get a pretty heavy duty drill press in order to cut new holes into, you know, 1/2 inch thick steel. And the holes are quite large. I drilled about 40, a total of 40 5/8 holes. So I needed to make sure that I had a good reliable drill press, and I have that in the workshop. As you kind of walk along here, you'll see that everything, the badging that was on here originally from McCormick was removed, and the fire engine red was replaced with a nice LS or / Landini blue color. As you walk around, it uses the skid steer quick attach release for the bucket. So all that still works as it should. All that remains as original material or original equipment. Now, like what we said in the video earlier, I had some work to do on the hydraulic side. So down here, some of my viewers will know that this is the hydraulic pump on this tractor. So this line that I'm pointing to right here is the inlet to the pump, and then down below here is the outlet. So the hydraulic fluid comes into the pump at low pressure, and it comes out of the pump in a high pressure, which is right here on this side. So because of the placement of the loader mount, I had to create a new pathway for the hydraulic, the pressurized line for the hydraulic line. So originally it was a steel line with two fittings on it, which was shaped in a hockey stick, like an L shape. But like I said, because of the placement of the loader mount, I had to reconfigure that. So what I ended up doing is that I retained the original fittings on both this side and on the side that it ties into the back of the tractor. but in between that there's a high pressure hydraulic hose. It's about, I'd say it's about 30 inches long in total, good for I think 4,300 psi. So it's a good quality hydraulic line. What that hydraulic line allows me to do is to snake the line in and underneath there, so I can actually make the connection. So that was done. Another modification that had to be done was rerouting the hydraulic quick connects for the loader controls. So originally the tractor is equipped with a bracket with the 4 female quick connects attached, one on top of another. This is the original LS bracket for the quick connects, and originally all 3 female ports are stacked or mounted 1, 2, 3, 4. But as you can see right here, the clearance between that bracket and the loader mount is pretty tight. So I had to reposition those. And what I ended up doing instead is I created a bracket and welded that directly to the loader mount, and then I repositioned 2 of the 4 quick connects right here. So that's pretty convenient because you've got a pair of connections right here. There's plenty of clearance, they're not interfering with anything, and then you've got another pair right here which are easily accessible and are not in the way, you know, nice and tidy. So maybe the one last remaining thing I'd like to talk about with respect to the retrofitting is the beams, or these trailing arms that are installed. They're installed from the loader mount here, and they actually go to the rear of the tractor. So what these beams do is, as you're driving the tractor into a pile of dirt or something, there's a force acting in this direction against the mount. So to counteract that rotation to the mount, of course the mount is attached solidly to the frame of the tractor, but there's also beams that extend to the rear of the tractor to keep this tractor mount perfectly stable. The mounts, or these trailing arms, of course, like, they were designed again for a different type of tractor, a different make of tractor, but I was able to reuse those mounts, or was able to reuse these trailing arms. The only thing I had to do was to make a few small adjustments to the L brackets that mount to the rear of the tractor, and we'll see if we can get a view of that over here. We'll do our best to try to show this, but here are the L brackets, okay, that are attached to the underside of the rear axle casing. This is the rear axle casing, and then right below that there's these L brackets that bolt upward into the casing. And then this is the location of the trailing arm right here that I'm pointing at, and that trailing arm runs horizontal underneath the tractor. Here's another view here. So that one was quite reasonable to retrofit. It was essentially, you know, drilling 2 new holes that matched the bolt pattern of the tractor. But this one on this side was slightly more challenging, and I ended up making this configuration right here, where here's the trailing arm right here. Here's a big block of steel that connects the trailing arm to the L bracket, which is also now tied into the rear tractor axle casing right here. So in the end, I ended up spending about $150 worth of metal from a a metal provider near our home. I had to, I had to have a drill press. I had to have a 5/8 drill bit, and also I needed a welder. So I used my AC/DC electric welder with welding rods. That's kind of the equipment that I needed in order to do this job. Of course, when it came time to painting, I needed a spray gun, so I used a gravity feed spray gun, sandpaper to prepare the surface, and those kinds of things. But in the end, the project turned out really well. So that basically kind of covers off the high points of this loader retrofit. Of course, there is probably a bunch of details that I forgot to mention already in this video. For the fate of this tractor, we sold the tractor, so it's going to be picked up shortly and brought to its new owner. In the couple of years that we've been on this property, we're still trying to figure out the best tools or the best equipment that we need to maintain our property. Stay tuned for images or a quick video of the tractor getting loaded onto the trailer and it driving off the property.